Going to the chapel and we're going to get married. Going to the chapel of rest. Hopefully not. No, I'm not going to die, don't worry. Hello there, my loves. It's me, it's Jimmy. I'm back. As you can hear, I'm not very well. The wedding is in 3 days' time. I'm hoping my voice gets a bit better for the words I've got to speak, so I don't sound like a cretin whilst I'm doing it. Unfortunately, one of the children I drive was pretty ill last week, and the parents made the interesting decision to send him in. Unfortunately, said child has no idea about spreading germs, and so every time he coughed, it was in my face. So yeah, I've come down with the plague. Luckily, so far, touch wood, Vanessa hasn't succumbed to it. I'm hoping it stays that way. I am so annoyed about this, but you know, it's one of those things. Your job is is working with children with special educational needs. That's fine, but when a child is obviously very ill, I could tell he shouldn't really be in. What can you do? You just got to drive them. Locked in the car with them, you are going to catch their malady, which I do on a regular basis. Unfortunately, I've been well for months and months, and now the wedding's coming and I've got it. Anyway, woe's me and all that shit. We are here for a different reason. I'm not just going to listen to me complaining the whole bloody time. I've done all of the paintings, so the painting challenge is complete. So today I'm going to show you all of those paintings, and I'll talk a little bit about them as well. How about that? So anyway, I'll just do them in the order. There's no particular order, and this will be after the wedding, hopefully, when I put it on here, so people won't see what they're getting. So basically, I've done a painting for everyone that's coming to the wedding as a kind of thank you for coming. So the first one here is this one here. So does anybody remember this? Bewitched. 60s sitcom, American one. So my parents really loved watching this back in the day, and they still do occasionally. I also really liked it, so I chose to do. It's kind of like them in a way, a couple, and it's at the beginning of each episode there's a little cartoon to set up the story. So she's a witch, Samantha's a witch, and Darren is the witless husband who doesn't like the fact that he's married a witch. This has no connotations to my parents. My mother isn't a witch and my dad isn't witless. But funnily enough, though, when I was a child, I did think my mum was a witch one day, and I wouldn't eat. She made dessert and I wouldn't eat it because I thought she poisoned it. Anyway, that's another story. So there's that one. Okay, next one. So this one. Who knows what this film's from?
Give me some water, Peck, or you die. Do you understand? Water. Yeah.
This is from the film Willow, fantasy epic, starring Val Kilmer as the wonderful Mad Mardigan. We've got Saoirse there, his love interest. This was the last one I painted, and it was a right bastard. I don't think I've quite got him looking like the way he does. He looks slightly gormless there. And her face isn't quite right either. But when it's such a small canvas, I do struggle. But I know my brother, this is for my brother Mark and his wife Claire. I don't think Claire has any idea about Willow. I don't think she's watched it. But I'm thinking of them as this couple. Mark, the wonderful swordsman, and she also a swordsman, Saoirse. She's not actually a swords person, but there we are. Sorry, this is going to be a shambles. Okay, so the next one. Right, this one. So a lot of the people that are coming, I don't know them at all. So I made notes. General notes about what each person is interested in. based on the grapevine, or through the grapevine, shall we say. So let's have a look here. So this is for Dave and Lynn, and they like gardening and gardens in general. So I thought, cracking, I'll do them a Japanese garden. I've always been interested in Japan. And I thought, yes, let's do a Japanese garden. I had to do a couple of layers. A lot of these paintings I did in one sitting. This one I had to touch up a bit later because it was a bit too dark. But anyway, we've got raked gravel. Typical Japanese Zen kind of garden, I suppose. Raked gravel, lots of sculpted bushes, and one of those stone lanterns in the background there. I hope they like it. There we are, that's that one. And these ones are touch and go as to whether they're dried or not. But there we are. Okay, the next one. It's Dear Monty. So this is for my new brother and his wife. So Adam and Natalia. This is their dog, wonderful dog by the name of Monty. A Shar-Pei bulldog mix. And a dog that has quite an attachment to my leg and tries to shag it whenever he possibly can. But I'm considering that a form of endearment. However, if I was looking after him for any length of time, I would be his bitch within a few hours. I would be in the cage and he would be taking me for walks. But anyway, I do like Monty. He's got a wonderful character. Here he's looking slightly grumpy, but that is his kind of go-to expression, I would say. I'm sorry, Adam and Natalia. I don't know if that is... he's got a sullen look, but he's a good boy. He's a good boy. I'm not disrespecting Monty here, by the way. But, yeah. Anyway, there we are. Right, next. Right, this one is for my mate, James. So, we used to... Back in the day, we were gamers from the get-go, early 90s. I'd be over his house, ride there on my bicycle. We'd be playing Amiga all bloody day long. I know one of his favourite games is Shadow of the Beast 2. This is a reproduction. I've copied a segment of Roger Dean's artwork for the limited edition box art for that same game, Shadow of the Beast 2. So I've just cropped it down and I've tried to recreate it. I really liked working with these kind of reds and ochres butted up against this nice bright blue. I absolutely loved doing this one. These various creatures were a pain in the ass though. But there we are. That's for you, James. Hope you like it. Okay. Okay, this next one was a pretty easy one. So this is for my niece. Wedding coming up, baby. Right, this next one is for my niece, Heidi. She's only 5, I believe. And this is Astrobot, so one of her favourite characters. PlayStation 5 game. It's this little robot that runs around. I repurposed, so the background I did for a kind of study for my other brother's book cover. But I thought, well, I can use that as a background because it was only for a study. So yeah, and then plopped Astrobot on top of there. I hope you like this, Heidi. Okay, there we are. That's the first one I did of the whole collection. That's what set the ball rolling. Okay, the next one. This is my nephew, James. Now, James is fond of Rangers, the football team, Scottish team. And luckily, so my brother and his wife saved me a bit of work here because they just said, well, you know, he loves that team. Just do the whatever you call that, the symbol for it. So that was a nice, relatively easy one. It was a little bit tricky, but there we are. Rangers, that's for you, James. Okay, yeah, that was good. All right, next one. This is for my mate, Dan Dunstan, and his wife, Sarah. So me and Dan go back quite a way. We went to art college together. We crossed swords more than once. And yeah, and he's always been a big fan of the Final Fantasy franchise. So I thought I'd pick this scene is my favourite of the series. Was the only game I really played. Final Fantasy VIII. And I'm imagining this is Dan and his wife Sarah having a little dance here. So there we are. I hope they like this one. It was kind of a tricky one. I had to find the actual remastered version of the FMV sequence, and then I slowed it down until I found just the right frame that I wanted to do. So there we are. Lots of effort here. There we are. Excuse me, I might die by the end of this. Okay, next. Right, this is for my brother Kirk and his wife Alex. And it's Pee Wee Herman. Ah! No idea why, I just thought it'd be funny. Growing up, we were quite entranced, shall we say, by Pee Wee Herman. Just an enigma, I think you would probably describe him as. Growing up, he seemed quite an odd chap, but also very funny. But yeah, I thought this would be nice for Kirk primarily. Poor Alex has got Pee Wee Herman as well. But yeah, there we are. There's Pee Wee Herman for Kirk and Alex. Okay, next. Okay, this is for my new sister or sister-in-law, Rachel. So I gave some people, because I had no idea what they would want, and Rachel said she wants a jar of Marmite. So that's what we went for. This was quite an early one I did. If you saw one of the live streams, this is one of the backgrounds I did on the live stream. And I thought that would go quite well with a jar of Marmite. So there we are. The only thing it really saved me doing was the label. So the red was already there. But I think it also, the red, I like using a red ground because it does make certain colours pop when you lay it over the top. So there we are. There's Marmite. Hope you like that, Rachel. I'll tell you what, I'm going to get some water because I will die in a moment if I don't. Go into the chapel and we're going to get married. Go into the chapel of rest. Hopefully not. No, I'm not going to die, don't worry. Right, next. This one is for my best man, who is my brother, Mitch. Some of you may have seen Mitch before on his channel. Bloody lovely bloke. And so he's the next one down from me, Michael, 2 years younger than me. And ever since he's had like game handles, probably started back playing Worms, I suppose, on the Amiga. He's called himself Hannibal Smith. So I thought, let's do Hannibal Smith from the A-Team. Hopefully I'll scan these at a later date and we can have a look. But there we are. There's Hannibal there, chomping on his cigar. That was a fucking nightmare to paint, if I remember rightly. The coat was easy. It was the face. I just couldn't get it to look right. Okay, so this is for another of Mitch's daughters. This is for Lucy. And Lucy is very fond of koalas. And I've known this for a while. I assumed she wouldn't be interested anymore in koalas because children's the things they're interested in could be quite capricious. They can change, but no, she still likes koalas. So there we are. There's the koala. I had the nice jazzy background, and I thought, yeah, it would look nice with a koala on it. So I hope you like this one, Lucy. You're not going to watch this video, but there we are. Motherfucker. Okay, next. Right, this is for some relatives. Fucking brilliant. Okay, so this is for Claire and Rob. So this is Vanessa's side of the family again. So it's her Auntie Claire. And they are fond of cream teas and the seaside. So I thought I'd do both of them together. So we've got a cream tea here. I've decided to I've gone with the Devon. No, I've gone for the Cornish, haven't I? Good. So the Cornish cream tea is jam first with a great big dollop of cream on top. You wouldn't normally put the other top of the scone on top of there, but I was working from a reference and that's the way it was, so I thought I'd go with it. But anyway, there's kind of cream under the jam as well, so I'm trying to satisfy both sides of the fence, because the Devon cream tea is a little bit of cream first, then a dollop of jam on top. Sacrilege. This plate here is one of our plates that I was just eating my toast off it just now, so go figure. Next, right, okay, this is for Vanessa's brother, Mark. So Mark used to go to an arcade. Well, Mark and his wife, Paula, they used to go to an old arcade in Brixham where they grew up. I don't think they met there or anything, but they used to go there a lot when they were courting, shall we say. I think that was the story. Anyway, it looked nothing like this, but I've decided to put Leisure 2000, which was the name of the arcade, into a pseudo-futuristic setting. So there we are, we've got the row of arcade cabinets there and some kind of the bright lights of a city. We've got some rubbish cans up here, and there's a kind of a... I was going to do like a hologram of a 3D Pac-Man, but I was getting carried away at this point. I'd only done a few paintings, and I thought, no, we're just going to have to leave it like that. But so it's a glowing beacon, but so this is envisaging Leisure 2000 in a parallel universe. I hope you like that, Mark and Paula. They also came to our Stag and Hen, where we went to a retro arcade as well. So that's what gave us the idea of doing that. Okay, next, this is for Vanessa's good friend, Sophie. Sophie is a big fan of Langer monkeys. So this is the second painting I did after Astrobot for Heidi. I found this picture of a monkey. I think it's a Langer, but I might be wrong. And it was in this position, just like chilling on the forest floor. And I thought that would look cracking, like it's in a, I don't know, like a bubble bath. And bubble bath? No, a sauna or so. No, a sauna. What the fuck am I? Jacuzzi. Yeah, chilling in a jacuzzi and smoking a cigarette. But then the way its other hand was, I thought you could get a cigarette in both of those hands. So it's a full-on fucking smoker. And a monkey of that nature would probably have one in each hand. But anyway, there we are. I hope you like that, Sophie. I don't think you'll watch this either, but hopefully you'll like that. Excuse me. I'm probably not doing myself any good doing this. But anyway, fuck it. I'm a fucking soldier. Okay, next. Alright, so this is from a film, this is from a movie, it's from my sister Adele and her partner Brian.
And this is?
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Yeah.
Multipass.
Multipass. She knows it's a multipass. Lilu Dallas, my wife. We're newlyweds. Just met.
Multipass.
You know how it is. Bump into each other, sparks happen. Yeah, she knows it's a multipass. Yeah, anyway, we're in love.
This is one of her favourite films, I believe, Fifth Element. She absolutely loves Bruce Willis. And so I thought, again, I'd imagine it as them. So this is Brian holding Adele in a parallel universe. It's Lilu, isn't it? And that's Corbin Dallas. So again, I used one of these. In fact, I think this background Vanessa painted, because she did a couple of backgrounds for me. I showed her kind of the colour. Well, no, she chose the colours and she did it. So there we are. She did the background and I popped that on the top of it. I haven't quite got Bruce looking like Bruce. I was trying to get the pout there, but it doesn't quite work. But yeah, it's okay. But Christ, working on these scales, it's because it's very small. I find it tricky. But anyway, I hope you both like that. Okay, so this next one is for my nephew, Jack. Jack's request was that he hasn't got a Switch, so he wanted me to paint him holding a Switch. So he's he's trying to channel the forces of destiny to give him a Switch, perhaps for Christmas. But there we are. He's never had a Switch before, but now he's got one. Unfortunately, so I asked my brother Kirk to take a photograph of him. He was holding a controller, so that's why it looks a bit odd. the switch is bigger than that, but his hands are quite big because of the perspective. But hopefully you'll like it. It's yeah, and that isn't a cyst on the side of his head. That is a lump on the canvas under the weave. It's a pain in the ass. Didn't notice until I started painting. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, the next one. This is for my cousin Karen and her husband Frank. So I wanted to do one that they would both be interested in a way. So she said they both love the Alien films, or the original Alien. So this is Sigourney Weaver. I think it's from the first film. She's got a helmet on. She's looking out at something. Again, I had this background already painted. I did it in a live stream. Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind this one. Well, I like it quite a bit actually, and I like the way the colours underneath have informed. So like where her eye is here, this green glow, because I painted it quite thinly here. The darker colour on top, it's allowed some of that colour to show through, which I think is quite interesting. Anyway, there we are. That's for Karen and Frank. Oh. See, ideally, I'd varnish all these, but okay. There's a little dot there. I don't know where that's come from. Right there. So this is for this is Vanessa's uncle Nick. Nick and Tammy. So this was Vanessa's idea to do John Travolta from Saturday Night Fever, because Nick is quite famous in the family for being a bit of a dancer, and I've seen him in action. I think it was at their wedding. No, it wasn't their wedding. It was renewing the vows thing. Yeah, he's quite a dancer. So yeah, there we are. Did that for him. Again, his face is so bloody small here. It doesn't really look like John Travolta. It's too small. I don't know about this white dot here. Oh, it's just a piece of dandruff. There we are. Dandruff and added bonus. Okay, so this is for one of Mark. So Vanessa's brother Mark is one of his daughters. Bear with me one moment. Ellie. So I don't know Ellie. I've never met her, but she did a theatre degree, I think, in drama. So we thought it might be good to do that, the happy and the sad face of the acting thing. Theatre. I don't know. There's probably a name for those. I don't know what it is. But I found quite a nice image, and it was a good what do you call it, exercise in working out tonal variations as well as different colours, tonal comparisons between colours, if you will, light and the dark, but also, you get the idea. There we go. Okay, this is for another one of Mark's daughters. Now bear with me, this does look a bit naughty, but it's not. Okay, this is for Cara and her partner Alex. I think, well, Mark said that she's really interested in pole dancing. I think is an exercise thing. So I thought I would do kind of an artistic representation of someone doing a bit of pole dancing. Hopefully it doesn't look too slutty. That wasn't what I was going for. I hope she doesn't mind that I've picked that, but I thought that would make a nice, interesting image. There we are. There we are. It's very small. It's very small things. So if they don't like them, they can just shove them in the bin. Okay, so my cousin Karen, her daughter Audrey, Karen and Frank's daughter Audrey, so she's into, you've guessed it, Harry Potter. So I thought it'd be nice to put her in the sorting hat, as though she's going through the process of going to Hogwarts. So there we are, there's Audrey there, wearing the sorting hat. Now I did one of these backgrounds in one of the live streams as well, but it worked out well for that one. Okay, the next one is a kind of a joke one. Okay, so this is a coconut shy, and I've painted this for my sister Maria and her partner Kieran. And that's just because whenever I see them, this is mostly Kieran's to blame. He puts on a song. It's called Coconuts, or My Coconuts or something. It's a naughty song. And so it always reminds me of them. So I've done 2 coconuts to reference symbolically two breasts. But hopefully they'll see the funny side of it. I think they will. But anyway, there we are. It's a coconut shy with a bit of bunting and a bit of nice countryside there. I do like this one. I quite like this image. I just completely made that up. Okay. Excuse me. Next one. Okay, this is for my mother-in-law now. So this is for Jane, Vanessa's mother. And she wanted a bird of some kind. I think she said a hummingbird. So I've done a hummingbird, and I've done a kind of loose background of flowers, lots of flowers, surrounded by flowers. I have no idea what those flowers are, but yeah, it's feeding off this particular flower, and it's a little bit tricky. The only thing I'm quite happy with this, but the colour of the bird and the background are similar, but so it doesn't pop quite as much as I would have wanted it, but I think it's okay. I hope you like that, Jane. All right. Okay, next one. This is for Mitch's eldest daughter, Amber. And he said she's into kind of Parisian styled stuff. So I thought I'd just do a view of Paris. I used a reference image. The Eiffel Tower wasn't in my reference, and I've changed certain bits to make it a bit easier to do, but there we are. This is Paris. I thought this was going to be a nightmare, but it only took me about 2 hours, I think, this one. 2.5 hours maybe. I just boshed it out. And it's a looser style than I would normally do. But it was quite liberating to do that. The length of time, so that was 2 hours. If we go back to Monty took me about 5 hours. So yeah, the paintings all range in between 2 hours is the quickest I did, and 5 is the longest. There's a few that took 5 hours. Okay, the next one. This is another one of Mark's daughters, Abby and Mike. So they did this a big trip across America following Route 66. So I've just knocked out a Route 66. So I just found a picture of the sign, and then I found another reference of a generic desert kind of landscape, and then riffed over the top with clouds and just made it up basically. I hope they like it. Okay, this is for Kirk and Alex. It's my for their daughter, my niece Olivia, excuse me. Now she wanted a girl doing gymnastics, so there we are. This was dodgy. I would say dodgy because I was having to find reference images of girls her age doing gymnastics, and I'm pretty sure I've probably been flagged by some agency now for looking at images of young girls wearing very little. But there we are. These are the lengths I go to for my paintings. So I found this image of this girl. I changed what she was wearing just to simplify it, and then just did a lot of just a cloudscape in the background. I was going to put like a maypole in the background, but I thought that might be slightly suggestive. It's very small, and the face, it's okay, but the angle of that face was a fucking nightmare. But there we are. Okay, this is for another one of Vanessa's aunties, Sally and Steve. I've been there looking at the names. They're all on the backs of them. There we are. Okay, so they're fond of hiking. So I found a nice image of a nice country path or country, whatever you call it, country lane. and painted that. Yeah, I used a reference, but I've changed a lot of things. I made up the clouds. I just completely made up, but I really enjoyed doing those clouds. This one took about 2 hours, so it was pretty quick. What do you think? Okay, last but not least, so this is for my other niece. This is Holly. So I'm not going to embarrass myself by saying I don't know how old you are, but I will. I'm pretty sure you're 17. But anyway, she's hoping to go to get into Oxford University for this September. So I talked to Claire and Mark, and they said maybe a view of Oxford. I hope you get in now. You're not going to watch this, but anyway, hopefully you get in. If not, just burn this. Or if you want, I can like paint a mushroom cloud there or something, destroying Oxford. But yeah, this one I did in about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours. No, it was a bit longer actually. The next day I looked at it again, and the colours are all been completely burnt away. It depends on because I was doing it late at night. The quality of the light I was using wasn't brilliant. I was using a lamp, but the next day it looked very different, and I think it had sunk in because I decided to use a dark ground because I thought the colours would pop a bit more. But what it did was it killed a lot of these lighter tones. But anyway, there we are. That's Oxford, sunset, towards sunset, that kind of thing. Okay, there we are. Let's leave it there. Okay. Thank you for watching. Sorry, there's been a fucking nightmare of me slowly withering away. But yeah, I'll be back soon, back on the ball, a married man, and I'll be doing the usual stuff, book reviews and whatnot. But anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, see you next time. Cheers and cheerio.